Okay, bitch, don't tell me that you're awakened. So I just had to do that. Like, bitch, don't tell me you're awakened. Had to do it. Okay, so in all seriousness, I actually mean that. Don't tell me that you're awakened. Okay, so this is all about humility. If you hear someone say this, or you say it yourself, and I'm going to be really honest, like this gets under my skin because I'm human and I'm not awakened yet or ascended, but it gets under my skin. It's a trigger. If someone tells you they're awakened, most likely they're not. And if someone tells you that they're ascended, most likely that they're not, because that is not coming from humility. That is all coming from ego. So let me give you an example. Martin Luther King, right? Like Martin Luther King didn't walk around saying, I am an incredible transformational leader. You should bow down to me. No, he just did it. He just showed up, right? He just did. He had a vision and he went for it. He didn't need to tell you how good he was as a leader or anyone who's in this, in that, at that level of doing things, right? They don't need to tell you. And so the reason that this is so important is because what I see is, and I do this myself as well, is that when the ego gets in the way, we lose humility. And when we lose humility, our vibration goes, dips down, and we're not open to learning. We are not open to learning. So if you go to everything, imagine going to everything, every talk, everything, school function, anything really, with a beginner's mind. Imagine how much you would learn, even if it was a class or something that you learned. Let's say you do the same yoga class 3 times a week, but every time you go with a beginner's mind, a beginner's body. You're going to learn something new every single time. But if you go to that yoga class with like, bitch, I got this. Like, oh my God, she's doing that move again. Know it, done it. I can do the splits, all of it, right? But if you show up to that class, you're doing your thing, you're building your skills, right? And your body's remembering from one class to the next. You're just going to do it. And imagine doing it with humility and an openness. You're going to learn something new, and you might even stretch your body to the next level. But if we show up and we're like, I've done this, I mean, I've had this experience towards me, like, oh, this, I know all this stuff, like people who come to the webinars and things like that. If you're in that conversation, you're going to miss things. You're going to miss things. And it's the same for me. I feel like my guides, if I get too ego, too cocky, and self-confidence and being in your power is very, very different than ego. Saying you're awakened is not in your power. I'm awakened. No, you're not. Sorry, but you're not. None of us really are. None of us really are. We're all figuring this out. We're all having moments of being awake and moments of humility. Excuse me, moments of ascension. But we are all here on this earth plane doing the jam together. So so my guides, I feel like they have me checked. So here's an example. I was sharing with my business coach a couple of weeks ago. I was like, this totally came from ego, completely. I was like, oh yeah, I don't have any trouble getting people to my events. We were talking about something. I was like, I don't have any trouble getting people to my events, my webinars, my challenges, people show up. That statement right there completely came from ego. So guess what happened? The last 2 events I've done have had the lowest attendance I've had probably ever. And I was like, okay, I hear you. Because when I made that statement, I wasn't saying, wow, I am so humble. I mean, I actually truly am humble. But in that moment and having gratitude, I came from ego. And my guides checked me. because it is an honor that people come to my events. It is an honor that people want to hear what I have to say. It still like blows my mind. And every single person I get to talk to, it beyond humbles me. But in that moment, I wasn't. So I got checked. And I should have gotten checked. So if you show up to an event, and I've seen this too as well, like I've teach the shamanic journey, and I've had people say to me, "Oh, I know how to do that." Great. Where did you learn? On YouTube. Awesome. Okay, how often do you journey? Well, I've done it like 3 times, but I'm good. But then I ask more questions and they're not good. They don't know what they're doing. But here's the thing. All of that just shut them down. Their ego got in the way. And what's beyond the ego? They don't want to look bad. They want to be built up. That's my guess. That's where mine comes from. I wanted to look good. When I made that statement to my coach, I wanted to look good. I wanted my coach to give me a pat on the back and say, this is my business coach, by the way. Good job, Beth. You're rocking it. That's what I really wanted. So I created all this ego, and that's generally what people want. Or people are afraid to say, I really don't know. But man, boy, girl, woman, person, being in that state of I don't know, the humbleness around that and the humility, same word, opens you up to downloading more and more and more wisdom. Know who you are. Walk the path of humility and watch you grow in ways you cannot even imagine. And if you're catching yourself telling people, not from an empowered place, but from a insecure, ego-driven place, that you're better or you don't need to learn something or you've been there, done that, that is an opportunity for you to step back and be like, whoa, wait, am I in humility? Am I in gratitude? Am I here from a beginner's mind? Because even if you learned the ABCs all over again tomorrow and someone taught them to you, even that, you might learn something new. You really might learn something new. And if you create that spaciousness to hear and listen to that person who is teaching you the ABCs, it's a gift to them as well. Humbleness, that word, humility, gratitude. This is the path of true awakening and true ascension. This is how we get there, or one of the ways that we get there. So don't tell me you're awakened. Don't tell me you're ascended. That is like spiritual narcissism, and it doesn't work. And here's one quick thing that I'll leave you with. This is one thing I'll leave you with. When that ego mind comes up, or that ego way of being, it's coming from a place often of insecurity. And especially in the spiritual realm, we all have seen it. We've all seen it. When you can see it, it bleeds through people's copy, through people's websites. If they are spiritually narcissistic and they believe that they are spiritually more evolved than other people, it leaves you open. 1, you're not going to learn. 2, you're not going to be able to raise your vibration. And 3, the most important thing here is it leaves you open for interference. And I mean energetic interference. It leaves you open. You are like a target. And why on the spiritual realm are you a target? Because if you're claiming to be a guru or whatever, or I will not work with gurus for this reason, because of the ego, it does leave you have the opportunity for the other forces. And this is probably another video. It leaves you vulnerable. That's all I'm going to say. So it is worth checking, particularly when it comes to spirituality, because it's so freaking sacred. It's so sacred. It takes trust, it takes dedication, it takes humility, it takes openness, it takes willingness, and it takes a deep connection to surrendering to God, divine, whatever it is. And if you're in judgment, we are not in spirituality. We're not connected to God, connected to ego. So, all right, I would love to hear your thoughts on this video. My name is Beth Osmer, and you can leave me an email, write me an email, and I will see you on the next video.